Living with tinnitus, my honest tinnitus story. So I was a musician most of my life. I started playing in bands when I was like 15 years old. And in the early days, I didn't use any hearing protection. We just rocked out with our sound, basically. My dad never used hearing protection, so I remember we would shoot guns and my ears would ring after the guns. I remember we would go to monster truck shows, and my dad never used hearing protection, never put it on any of us. Chainsaws, no hearing protection. Dirt bikes, no hearing protection. Playing loud, very loud music with drums that were in a small room. You know how loud a snare drum can be in the cymbals? And we'd play like that for hours. Afterwards, ears would be ringing. And I did this for years, and I started doing that at a very, very young age. I was around loud sounds. I grew up in the country, man. I was a redneck, so guns, dirt bikes, loud music, all of it, man. Then when I got my car, when I was like 16, I got my car. I put a sound system in there and was blasting loud music. So, plus growing up, my house growing up was very traumatic. So my mom was always screaming, my dad was always screaming. So I never really had peace. I never really had silence. I never had quiet. Everything was loud. I remember the first time I heard the tinnitus. For me, it was when I got older, but must have been like 20 something. I went to a coffee shop and it was very loud, and I heard the ringing. And it terrified me, man. Like horrifyingly terrified me. I remember I got on my face and was just begging God to stop it. That's how bad it was. That's just how mortified I was. I was like, oh my gosh, I can never turn this off. I'm stuck like this. Worst case scenario. For whatever reason, though, I was able to go back to normal within a few days. And I don't even know how that's even possible. I was in college at the time, and I had a lot of things going on to I think, preoccupy me or something or whatever. But in a few days, I pretty much went back to normal. And I was like, man, that sucked, but, it didn't really bother me. So it's like I habituated in a few days, and I don't even know how that's even possible. Maybe I wasn't not habituated. I don't really know, but that was kind of interesting that happened. So I continued to just basically live my life as normal. Everything was fine. Played music, all that stuff. Fast forward to, it was right kind of when COVID happened. It was 2020, I think. And basically, it was my birthday. So it was around April 16th. And I remember just sitting on the couch, just hearing just a blaring ringing in my ear. It just came back. It was just it was like it just turned on one day. It was just, and I was just I knew what it was. I was like, oh my God, why am I hearing it? Because it brought up all of those past tormenting feelings. It brought it all back up to me. And I didn't have the skill set to manage it, basically. So I just freaked out. I got up and I just started running. Right, so I was like, I need to run this off. I need to the fight or flight hit me, and I was just running down the street. I need to go jog or something. And I was running, and I was even as I was running, I was panicking more, and I was spiraling. What's going on? What's wrong with me? I'm deaf. I'm suffering. Oh my God, blah blah blah. Well, after that, I went to the doctor. I booked an ENT appointment because I was like, what is going on? What is wrong with me? I thought I had some sort of brain tumor or something, really messed up, Anyway, I went to the ENT, and she basically told me, you have an ear infection. I was like, okay. So they gave me antibiotics, which I don't know if it really helped or not, but the ear infection ended up going away after a while. But it left me with the tinnitus I was extremely bothered by, and it was really loud, really freaking loud. It was like my brain blocked out the tinnitus my entire life, but it was all of the years of hearing damage. It felt like the chickens came home to roost, right? It felt like all of the loud music and the guns and everything I used to listen to without hearing protection, it was just like I deserved it all. I just felt horribly shameful that I didn't cherish my hearing, and it was just doom. It felt like complete doom. Like it just like there was no hope. Is what it felt like. So that's basically where I was. I was like I was just suffering all the time, man. Like all the freaking time. If you would have told me that I'd be traveling the world right now, 4 years later, and my life would be like way better, and I'd be living my dream, I would have said, there's no way. I would have called you crazy. But never say never. Life has a funny way of turning around, kind of when you least expect it. So anyway, after the ear infection setback and going to the doctor, that was a long, very long, brutal recovery path that I still don't know how I survived it, because that led to insomnia, it led to PTSD, it led to a lot of other like really bad things from the tinnitus that I had to tackle each one. And I'm like, okay, so I'm trying to figure out insomnia while I'm figuring out tinnitus, while I'm managing panic attacks, while I'm managing depression. I'm trying to manage all of these things. And I'm like at some point you would think that someone would like just snap and give up. And I felt like I was there a few times, many times. I felt like, I'm just going to give up. Life is hopeless. It's not just one thing, but it's like, it's everything really is what it felt like. But I didn't give up. I kept living each day. I kept getting up, and I figured out the best things to think about, the best things to do, the best things to fill my time with, the best practices, the meditations. I addressed one thing at a time. I was like, okay, I have to deal with insomnia. How do I get a little bit better sleep, right? And then I'm like, okay, how do I deal with anxiety? What is anxiety? How do I accept what I can't change, right? So I went on this and it brought me on this very beautiful spiritual path where I've traveled the world, and spiritually I'm I feel very, very, very close to God now, probably closer than I've ever felt. Had I not went through that pain, it wouldn't have awakened me spiritually to this very beautiful life where I find myself very easily able to stay in the present. Whereas before, I was never in the present moment. I was stuck in my thoughts, literally doom scrolling all my thoughts. Now I'm able to step back and see that my thoughts are not mine. They're happening to me like I'm watching a movie. But I can choose to believe them, or I can choose to not believe them. I can choose to put them on pause, or I can choose to let them play. Whereas before, it was like when the thoughts were playing out, especially like the tinnitus thoughts, the doom thoughts, it was like I believed that what the thoughts were saying to me was actually going to happen. I believed that I was screwed. I believed that I was never going to get better. I believed it because I didn't know that I was not my thoughts. Does that make sense? I didn't know. Nobody told me that. I figured this out through meditation. When I would meditate and I would observe my thoughts, and I would realize sometimes I would have a really bad morning. Like, I would have anxiety in the morning, and I would be feeling really restless and hopeless. And my mind was like, life is pointless. You shouldn't even live. But I would not listen to that thought. I would go about my day, and then like in the afternoon, something fun would happen, or I would do something fun, or I would hang out with friends. And I'd be like, wow, this day was really good. This day was really good. But then I would think back and be like, but my mind told me that it was hopeless, but it wasn't. So I realized, I was like, wow, my thoughts aren't always true. And if I listen to them, and if I put weight into them, then I'm believing in illusion that may or may not be true. And that was really the beginning when I realized, wow, I'm not my thoughts. I'm the observer of my thoughts. And I can choose to believe them or not believe them. I can choose to put weight into what they're saying, or I can choose I don't have to. And that was the beginning of awakening for me. Spiritual awakening was realizing that I'm not my thoughts. And the Bible talks about this, take every thought captive, right? How can you take yourself captive if you were your thoughts? Meaning you have to be more than your thoughts, right? You have to be more than what your brain is telling you. You're observing it like you would a movie, but it's not the ultimate truth. It's not the ultimate reality. That's how come I can sit here and I can tell you tinnitus is not hopeless. Because I know when my brain was telling me it was hopeless, that was not truth. It was an illusion. Because I lived it. I lived it for years. And I got out of it by choosing to not believe the thoughts that I didn't think were true. That was the ultimate secret. That was the ultimate hack. And when I started to put intention behind the thoughts that I believe, that I have hope, that I can go achieve my dreams, that good things are waiting for me, good things are in store for me, my life started to change. It wasn't magic. It was living a life that was grounded in intention, presence, and love. Believing the things that I believed were true, that my soul was telling me, that things were going to be okay. And when I started to walk that out, little by little, baby steps at first, when I started to walk that out day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, looking back, my life is completely changed for the better. The tinnitus is a non-issue. And that is the cure. And I teach people how to do that. I teach people the steps. I can be the mentor to help you get your silence back, to help you overcome it. And not only get back to okay, but get back 10 times better than what you were, 100 times better than what you were. This isn't about just getting your life back. This is about getting back what you lost and then adding to it. This can be the beginning of a beautiful life for you, because it was for me. The beginning of something new, a whole new chapter, a whole new world. Anyway, if you want to work with me, get your silence back, hit the link in the description. I would love to work with you. You can book a 1 hour session. We can do a Zoom session, or you want to fly here. You want to meet me on the beach. If that sounds like something you want to do, we can also arrange that too as well. Anyway, smash the subscribe button. Make sure to comment below. I'll talk to you later. Peace.